This is my friend and amazing artist, Sha-risse, who does a lot of work in film, directing, writing, as well as in the sticker art community, which is how we met each other. Do you want to introduce yourself in any way or anything you want to share about the projects you've got going on right now, Sha-risse?
Absolutely. Thank you, Ross, for having me. I'm Sha-risse Smith. I am a writer and filmmaker and all around sticker nerd and Batman enthusiast. I will do anything for Rouse. I'm so excited and honored that you asked me to join you for this podcast. I have so many things coming up, but the most recent thing is the sticker movie that is touring the country right now. We're wrapping up New York City with our East Coast premiere, and then there are more screenings to come in the US and abroad.
So tell people who aren't, who didn't record for the sticker movie. Tell our listeners a little bit like what is the sticker movie, because it's such a cool thing and I want more people to know about it.
Oh yeah, so Sticker Movie is a project created by Will Deloney, aka Chili Willy, and I, Sha-risse, aka Agent 5 Smith. We're both sticker artists. We both love this culture. We're heavily involved in this culture. And we wanted to make a movie. It started as a pandemic project, as so many projects have. And we were determined to finish this film because it's become something that is exploring our culture in a way that's never been done before. There has never been a feature length film about sticker art. There's graffiti, there's wheat paste, there's performance art documentaries, but sticker art not so much, and definitely not a feature length film. And so this film could have gone a few directions, and we chose to go with the angle of where we are now, sort of like a love letter to the community and the culture, and show who we are and not necessarily what we do, if that makes any sense. It's more people focused. And that was a decision because sticker art is something that not everyone's going to be into. Not everyone notices it, not everyone sees, but the themes, the universal themes of friendship and a place of belonging and being heard and understood, and the mental health benefits that come from being a part of a community where you're accepted as you are and being able to express yourself freely without any judgments or without any really limitations, whether financial or just skill wise, is something that is pretty much universal no matter what your medium is. And so we decided to go with that and show like really how we are. Where it starts in the street, you notice a sticker and you're like, who is that? What is that? And then it transitions until getting your first trade. Your quote, Riles, is like, a sticker trade, what am I supposed to do? Like, I love that quote because I had that moment too. I'm like, do you want me to pay you? Like, am I buying something? Like, what am I doing? And then you sort of get like get initiated with a trade or a show or a friend who like forces you to trade, which I'm guilty of doing to people. And then and now the sticker movie, you see the sticker movie and you're like, oh, I want to do this. And so you go from there to sort of collaborating with someone for the first time. However that happens, there's a few ways we explore that too. And then you sort of get initiated into this whole it's a joke that my family says that I'm in a cult. I'm like, not a cult. I mean, it's kind of a cult, but it's not. And so you get into this community, and that's the true beauty of sticker art is not just the stickers. It's how the stickers bind people together all over the world to
Yeah.
form this community. I mean, right here is a community, right? I love Raya. I love you so much. You know that. And so you find this other like world that was right there, but you just weren't connected to it until stickers made that connection. And so that's what this film is about. It's about the people who make stickers, not the stickers themselves.
And I absolutely love that. And I wanted to, part of what I'm trying to do here is have conversations with people about the things they care about. Like, what is it that you care about, and how are you making that happen in the world? And you make so much happen in the world, Charisse. Like you and I love to see it. I love being in your orbit and getting to see, oh yeah, Charisse like just made a whole second production film. Like, what? This is so cool. But how did stickers become something you cared about? I mean, you mentioned briefly, and I know a lot of people's journeys are kind of similar, but you in specific, like, how did you start caring about stickers and sticker
That is a
community?
great question. I've always loved stickers, and this is a story that I'll try to condense and not get emotional. But I'm from Harlem, born and raised, Harlem in the Heights. Like a lot of kids whose parents or whatever, you live different places with grandma, with mom, with dad. They all lived in Harlem in the Heights, right? But I went to school all the way downtown because that's what they did. I don't know if they still do it. They test some kids and then they pluck them out the hood and then they put them, in a different environment. And that was my story. And so I went to school way away from everything I knew and who I knew, commuted every single day to the Upper West Side gifted and talented program where I was one of three Black kids, right?
Yeah.
And one of three kids in my, like, I didn't know, but with financial means that I had,
Yeah.
everyone was kind of in a different bracket, which you
Yeah.
feel as a kid, but you don't know you don't have the knowledge of what that really is.
Yeah.
So they had money for stuff. They had money for nice lunches. They had money for stickers and like extra stuff that like I did not think to have. Like I just wanted a quart of water and some chips. Like I wasn't thinking about all that other stuff. And I say that to say is they all like had like there was a moment with like Lisa Frank and like these like
Mm-hmm.
fuzzy, smelly
Mm-hmm.
stickers and sticker books that were like really, really cool. I never had them. Like I was that kid
Yeah.
for like the book fair. Like I was just pretending like to do something else. Like we didn't do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
You're like,
we just
oh,
I was
oh.
like, oh, it's today. I forgot. I didn't forget. I just we just couldn't buy it.
Yeah.
So anyway, I say that all this to say is that I've always admired stickers. I just
Yeah.
didn't have a connection to it. And even as an adult, I used to photograph stickers all the time when I went downtown. But where I lived, uptown, there was a lot of graffiti.
Yeah.
there weren't there weren't sticker combos and whatever. It's not a thing. Like even now, I'm always like walk past 125th Street because it's becoming a thing because of different factors, but
Yeah.
it's still nowhere like, you know, Lower East Side or something like that, or
Yeah.
even Midtown. It's
Yeah.
nowhere close to that level of saturation with stickers. And so I've always loved it. I've always cared about it. I just never knew how to connect to it until recently.
When did you make your first sticker?
I didn't make my first sticker. Indicut, his I don't know his real name. That's just what our community does, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Our ex-girls talked about it. We're sticker people. We don't know each other's name.
Yes, I saw that.
I love that video because I was cracking up. It's true. So Indicut, whatever his real name is, he surprised me with the coolest design. It was an Agent Smith from The Matrix,
Uh-huh.
green and black sticker with his original letters. It was a rectangle. I still have it. I still have a giant one too. It's so dope. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. Wait, I can make my own. I don't know why it never occurred to me. And then that's it. That's like,
Yeah.
a crackhead making crack. Like, you don't, I have so many designs. Some of them are terrible. Some of them I love, but I just, yeah, that was my first one. And I tried drawing my own sticker. There's only one person who has those, and she's in Germany. And I don't want anyone to see them. They were highlighters. I know what I was doing.
We all start somewhere. I think I arranged my first sticker designs in like a Google Doc because I didn't know
Ooh.
like what anything about graphics and or like digital art, none of it. I was like, I took a picture of something I had made physically and just like cropped it and put it in a Google Doc and like printed it on my home printer. It
I
was
want to see
horrible.
it, Riles. I want to see that.
Oh, I don't I think I even have some in a bin somewhere of those very first stickers. They didn't last outside at all because once you get sunshine on it, that
It's
home
a
printer
wrap.
ink just like
Yeah, yeah.
won't stay. But yeah, those were what was like in my very first trade packs and everything.
Man, I'm always interested in people's first stickers. I think it was Elephant who said him. I do know his name, but Angry Elephant. He used to use like duct tape or something. He said, and he drew on. It's just really interesting how we figure out what we're doing now. Sticker
Mhm.
movie hopefully will make that a little easier. So we're like, do this, don't do that. But still, I think it's cool how people discover.
Yeah, I feel like one of my favorite things that happens is when I'm hanging out with non-sticker people and we're walking around somewhere and either I'm putting up stickers or I'm even just pointing out the stickers on the street and
Yeah.
people start to realize like, oh, yeah, there are stickers on this street or like, oh, I never really thought about how the stickers got here. Like
Right.
it just sort of magically appeared, but I'm like no, like a human being. Like
We
and then
actually
when they go away and they text me like a week later and they're like, I'm noticing all these stickers now. And I'm like, yes, you are.
do they
Like,
send you pictures? That's my favorite thing is when they're like, wait, is this something? I'm like, yes, that is such and such. Like you're
yeah,
initiated. It's a weird thing. It's like that's why our catchphrase is once you see it, you're stuck because it's like you don't notice it, but once you start to notice it, you see it everywhere. It's like a second, like a veil, has been lifted
yeah.
on the street.
I feel like this is true for anything that we care about, really, and like just the way that care in itself is contagious. Like,
Yes.
if it's the thing that's part of your life that you really integrate it, that you talk about, that you bring around other people that are around you will start to notice that more. So it's like, to me, I think that's why I think so much about like, what is it that we are being intentional about creating and putting out into the world, because it has these ripple effects. Like, yeah, anyone around you or me probably knows a little something about stickers, even if it's just a little, like you were saying, maybe they pretend like they understand, but they know something. They know that they exist because they're such a big part of our lives.
Yes, absolutely. I remember someone saying, it was a podcast, of course, but she said something very impactful where she was like, think about a red car. How many red cars have you seen? And I'm paraphrasing. She said it so much more eloquently than I am. And then when you step outside, you'll see a bunch of red cars because your mind is thinking about it. It's the same
Yeah,
thing that you're describing, where
exactly.
our intention creates our perception creates our reality, right? And
Exactly.
I love the things that you talk about. We're talking about work and we're talking about just the value of things and reevaluating how we value things and how we value our experiences and our work and the people around us. It's so important. I mean,
Yeah.
stickers are a small thing. They're way more important, subjects or whatever, but it's not small because it's to the people who create them, the people who share them, the people who find so much joy in this culture. It's not a small thing. It encompasses our lives. It takes over so much of our time.
Exactly. And I mean, I think there's so many things that you as an individual can gain from, again, it could be stickers, like it could be something else. Like I feel like anyone listening to this, even if they're not into stickers, probably has some sort of passion, some sort of thing that they do and create that could give you the same benefits. But I don't know, like what are I know these exist. So, like what are some of the things you feel like you've personally grown and benefited from as you've been more a part of sticker culture, both as like the community and as like a creator?
Oh my gosh. One of the main things that I've benefited from is being way more open-minded.
Yeah.
When I first started getting involved in this, my name was Agent Five Smith, obviously, but I didn't show my face just because in my day-to-day life, I'm always people assume stuff, right? They see a black woman. I don't know what age they assume I am, depending on how tired I am that day or whatever, or how I do my hair. But it depends, and so
Yeah.
I'm always put into this category, and sometimes they verbalize it when I start to speak. And I'm actually thinking about what I'm saying. They're like, "Oh, you speak so well," and I'm like, "I'm gonna kill you now," like
Yeah.
that bullshit. Can I
Yeah.
curse, Rose? Okay, I'm trying to not curse.
You can say, yeah, you can curse. I think this is
Like,
an
yeah, I get
adult-oriented
that
conversation.
crap. It's just like the assumptions that I'm not educated or, that I like certain things
Yeah.
because of how I look or whatever. And it's frustrating. So I purposely, when I joined this community, was just anonymous.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that people would assume that I was a white guy, but then I had to think about it like, does Sha-risse, Agent Smith is a white man in a black suit. To me, he's not even a man. He's a freaking computer program because that's what
Yeah.
he is. He's
Yeah.
everyone. That I always think differently in that way, but people took it literally. So when I came out as a black woman, some people blocked me. People didn't like that. There was
Yeah.
a whole curve there where people, our community isn't perfect. There are some bigots, there are some very ignorant, there are people, there are some a gaggle of sexist folks in our
Yeah.
community, all of that. But what I learned was that that's not the majority. And a lot of the people that I met, I would have never ever spoken to
Yeah.
ever because of just the cultural difference between us. And what I realized also is that I have to deal with my own bias and prejudice because why would I write that person off? Like, why would
Yeah.
I not speak to that person? Why is there such a void there? But through art and stickers, even my anonymity, or just even when they do know what I look like, it doesn't freaking matter. And like, you're the homie. Like, we like a lot of the same things. You're amazing. Like, Angry Elephant, for instance, one of my favorite people in the community, we are night and day. But
Yeah.
that is my that is my homie. And even like new homies like Pickle Church.
Oh, I love Pickle Church.
I
I love them so much.
I love Pickle Church. And like Pickle Church and I don't necessarily have a lot of things in common, but the
No.
important stuff we do. And so
Yeah.
it's just like, yo, like I would have never, our circles would have never crossed. Or even if we were in a room, I would have been like, hey girl, hey, what's up? Like I would have never been like that. I'd be like, okay, like to myself. And so
Yeah.
it really helped me like branch out to a whole different demographic of people that I'd never, and it's not even a color thing, it's like a cultural thing. Like, you know,
Absolutely.
now I listen to some music that I would have never listened to before, and
What's
branch
some of the
out.
music that you listen to now?
I mean, I'm a very like I love two kinds of music. I love oldies, I love classic rock,
Yeah.
give me some Cream, give me some, of course, Hendrix, Rolling Stones, like give me like classic rock
Yeah.
and give me classic hip hop R&B. Like I like
Yeah.
the classic music cuz it sounds good to me.
Yeah.
But like some techno stuff, some like folk music I'm getting
Oh.
into.
Oh, look
Yeah,
at you.
like Little Thief or whatever. Like it's just like some like other stuff that I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, this is pretty good. I hear gospel in this. I hear blues in this. Like, okay, I can get down with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
I love that. And I really feel you on like the way that I think the sticker community is such a diverse group of people that, yeah, that I don't think I would meet so many of these people in my daily life in other, like we don't have other intersections just in terms of, I don't know, hobbies, like things that we do. Like I think about Ray Tannick, like as a personal trainer, I'm not going to run into like a gym personal trainer and dog walker. I don't have dogs. I don't metal. Like that is not me. I don't do any of those things. But like amazing human being who
Yeah.
taught me to wheat paste, who's like the coolest, sweetest person in the world that I never would have met, except for the fact that we both are like total weirdos who want to just go like put stuff up into the streets, you know?
Wait, pause. His name, have I been saying his name wrong for like 6 years? It's not Ratanic, it's Ray Tannic.
Well, I think I mean,
Okay, I was
say it
like,
however you want. I say I say Ratanic because it's like satanic, but also it
right.
is rat. Like we shorten it to rat, so like Ratanic also makes sense. I think they're both
Okay,
right.
I was like, wait a minute. But also, I always joke like one of the sweetest people I've ever met is is makes jokes about like Satan, and it's like, but that's the point. It's like, who cares,
Right.
you know?
Right. And that like one of the first person that I went out and put wheat paste up, that all my colors, all this like sweet, soft, like let's all be friends, kumbaya messaging. And then next to this person who was putting up like black die like posters. But that's the thing. Like when you have this underlying connection, which I think, and like you were saying, of course, there's pockets of like negativity or people with their own issues. But I think for the most part, something you mentioned earlier when talking about the sticker movie, like one of the things about sticker culture and a lot of street culture is like, just put it up. It's not even about skill level, it's about exploring, it's about breaking down some of those barriers of like who's good enough and who
Right.
is worthy of having something to say, and really supporting that like everyone has something to say. So if you can just like figure out what you want to say and go put it up there, you're supported in doing that. And I feel like that's a huge part of like what brings people together is just like, cool, let's all just like figure out what we're trying to say and then go say it.
Right. There's no barriers there.
Yeah, exactly. What do you hope to see like next? Maybe since we're focusing on talking about like sticker community, street art community as something we both care about. I don't know. Like, yeah, what do you think's coming next for the culture, for the
That's a great
streets?
question. One of the most interesting things that I'm seeing is how young kids, and I mean young, like under 10,
Yeah.
are coming out to see this film and are making stickers that are way more creative than mine because quite frankly, I feel whenever I see a really good sticker, they're channeling that child,
Yeah.
that wonder, that curiosity that kids have, and they just don't care. They just do stuff. We have to think about it. How are we going to perceive? Da, da, da. They just do stuff, and it's dope. And I'm
Yeah.
noticing that there's a wave of these young kids who are confident. Like, where you get this confidence from? I'm like, I'm not even that confident. I'm 40 years old, about to be, but they're just
Yeah.
confident and they know who they are, which is amazing. And in the moment, right?
Yeah.
And they're making stuff like shout out to someone, this little girl in Portland who makes these ice cream cone cats and these taco cats and like the wild colors on 228s, all hand drawn. And she's dope. Or Mateo in New York. He's 9, I think he is now. And do you know Mateo?
I don't, but I just love that there's like a 9-year-old getting up on the streets in New York. That's
He gets up
fantastic.
more than me. He puts up like 100 stickers a day or something. It's just like, it's incredible. And so I really look forward to that future
Yeah.
and the groundwork that we've laid and how they're just sort of just taking it to the new level with a
Yeah.
passion that we don't always have. And it inspires me as an artist, as a filmmaker, as a person who participates in this. So
Yeah.
like, do better because they're watching. No, but it's
Yeah.
true. Like I'm like, okay, kids are watching. What we do. We have to be a better example. Like the fighting online or the beef and the stupid stuff. Like, what does that do at the end of the day? Especially with stickers, it's not worth it. We
Yeah.
have to we have to be a better example and create a community that is inclusive to everyone, and also where the next generation can take it to the next level.
Yeah. I love that. I think I don't have children and I'm not around children that often. So like intellectually I think about future humans, but I feel like I don't viscerally think about them as often. So I really appreciate that reminder that yeah, like there are children in the community and who will be coming up next in the community.
Yeah, there was this one kid. I can't remember his name. He's 16. But they came downstairs. It was like, there's someone who wants to meet you. And I'm like, stop pranking me. But he really did. He came from Connecticut with his mom. He came a week early, too early, missed the film, came back, and
Oh my
he had his
god.
little printer ready. And he was so sweet and so cool because he was making stickers on the spot.
Oh
And like he
man.
made sure he met everybody. It's like you gotta meet him. You gotta say hello to him. But it's that passion,
Yeah.
that lights me up inside. You never, and it's something that I'm realizing, especially with sticker movie. I don't think anyone pays attention to anything I do. I just do stuff because whatever. And they're like, yeah, and I'm like, they're like, I was following you for da da da, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, I play it off, and I'm like
Yeah.
shocked and like surprised. I'm like, you know who I am? Like, but it, and vice versa. There are people that like I go see every day, like sketchy people, for example, in Portland. When I'm procrastinating, my favorite thing to do is go on his page and just look, just
Yeah.
scroll and list, read the stories of the sketchy people that he sketches. He didn't know I do, he doesn't know I do that. He didn't know I knew who he was. But that's the
Yeah.
same thing. It's like this mutual admiration of
Yes.
strangers, you know. You never
Yes.
know who's watching you. So, be mindful of just in general, even if they're not watching, what be I have to be more mindful of what I put in out into the world, what I say and how I treat people just in general, but
Yeah.
especially online where everything's recorded and people are watching and it does affect people.
Yeah. I think that's super real and something to take away from from this conversation and just keep thinking about. Yeah, who what are we modeling? What
Yeah.
are we putting out there? What's the energy that we're showing up with? And I'm going to have to wrap this up here shortly. So I wanted to end with maybe thinking about people that like you modeling for other people. What are some people that have modeled for you, like really creating the world they want to live in, creating change, whether that's big or small? I think all change matters. So I don't know, who are some maybe two or three people that have inspired you with what they've created or how they've shown up?
Yeah, so I have three.
Okay.
Two are like famous. One is famous in my circle to me. Of course, always Malcolm X.
Yeah.
Malcolm X and Malcolm X is a figure who a lot of people do not know the truth about.
Yeah.
He started off one way, then he started off another way, and then he went to Mecca and he changed his philosophy.
Yeah.
And the end result of what he was trying to do is what I really latch on to. And I just wish people would learn more about Malcolm X and who he truly is and not how he was demonized
Yeah.
and pitted against someone who he wasn't really pitted against. They didn't agree, but they didn't hate each other. And I think that's something that people just don't get. It's not like good Martin Luther King, bad Malcolm X. It's not like that. It's
Yes.
a difference of approach to the same result.
Yeah.
So Malcolm X, always number one. Number two is Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou, Maya Angelou, Maya Angelou. And I can't even get into why Maya Angelou is so important to me, but oh my gosh. And I did get a chance to read her poem in front of her and did not speak to her. I was terrified. I
Oh my
was
God.
terrified, Riles, at the
Why?
Schomburg Museum. Yeah, I was 9 and she was there. She was like dressed up in this like kente cloth thing. And there were people from Africa there. And I read the poem, trying not to cry. I was so terrified.
Yeah, wow.
And she was talking to me, and I hid behind my mom. I was terrified. But I met her. And then lastly is my grandma, Beverly L. Smith Crafton. She was a pastor. She was the first Black female pastor on the Baptist Ministers Council. She was my pastor at one point. She passed away in 2001. But she is the only person that I know personally, like in my life, where who she was outside was exactly who she was when she didn't think anyone was watching. And
Yeah.
that is my goal, to just be that genuine and that true in anything that I do, where, no one can say, oh, they're not really like that, or they're just doing this because no, she was kind when she didn't have to be. She was
Yeah.
kind to the rude lady at Staples who never said thank you, who never said good morning. And I used to get mad, like, Grandma, she's being rude to you. She's like, no, watch. I'm going to love her. I'm going to love her regardless. And she actually became a Christian because my grandmother was so kind. And she actually said, I'm always nasty to you. Why are you nice to me? Yeah, I mean, we had to go to that lady every week to print
Yeah.
church programs. I hated it because I wanted to smack her, like, we went to my grandma. But that was who she was. She
Yeah.
was genuinely like that.
Yeah.
And so she did so many other things, but the most important thing to me was who she was.
Yeah.
She was really about that life. She was really about kindness. She was really about softness. But she was really
Yeah.
about the love of people, the love of God, always, but like being the example through and through, and checking her own self to make sure that she was in line with who she wanted to be in the world that she wanted to create, being that shining example, being the light, reflecting the light of the world with the light through her. And so my
Yeah,
grandma for sure.
that
My
is beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I definitely think that's something to aspire to, is being, like you said, I think the same person, whether anyone's watching or not. So, yeah, thank you so much for sharing, Sha-risse. Thank you for taking time to talk today. I really appreciate it, and I'm really looking forward to I'm really looking forward to sharing this with everybody. Get some more eyes on sticker culture, on the sticker movie, and just thinking about how something small like a sticker can really change so many things about how you show up in the world. I love it.